Guys, guess what are finally out? The Sister Location action figures! I really didn't expect to see them so soon, but at the same time it feels like we've been waiting forever for these things to hit the shelves. Out of the blue, I just wandered into these guys at Walmart and started jumping for joy. Literally, I looked like a crazy person. But then again, I usually do. These are definitely the toys I've been most excited for Sister Location. So let's stop messing around. I want to see these guys. Let's start with good old Freddy, Funtime Freddy and his little pal Bon Bon. As you can see here, Funko finally got around to changing the box art to be a little bit more relevant to what they're actually selling. In fact, each box has an image of the character you're getting. I'm impressed. In the past, all of the boxes had Withered Freddy, which they sadly haven't even made a figure of yet. Come on Funko, the Withereds need some love! Also on the box we can see that if you buy all 4 figures, you can make a 5th one, being Ennard. Our dreams are being realized, guys. It's an Ennard figure that should look amazing. His leg looks pretty good already. Now let's get a better look at Funtime Fred. Ah, look at that. That is the look of some good merch. He looks straight out of the game. The first thing I do notice that's off though is the size of his hat. Funtime Freddy actually has a pretty small hat, but this one's quite large. Look at that face though. Funko did a fantastic job, just like the other action figures, to get the look and shape down. He looks so darn good. And hooray for correctly colored eyes! Something that Funko tends to mess up a lot. His colors are pretty spot on elsewhere as well. He's got a lot of purple mixed in, which I hadn't even noticed myself when I first drew Freddy. From what I can tell, just about every crease in Freddy is present aside from the one on his tummy, which is barely seen anyway. The sad part about these lines that separate the plates though is that some of them are painted on like Freddy's head, but they skipped a few, and they didn't paint any of the ones on his body. Although his body is pretty much picture perfect. His speaker and microphone look especially good. Another minor mistake Funko made was his kneecaps, which should be connected to the top of Freddy's upper leg, not lower. One thing that I really appreciate about this figure are his elbow joints, which Funko lovingly made pink. Now for the one thing that really stinks about all these figures. When I was buying them, I noticed all of them had at least one mistake in the paint. Some of them looked pretty bad. I was able to choose out of 3 for each character though, so I got some of the best. Despite that, Freddy still has a giant glob of paint on his foot. You'll see later on that most, if not all, of the figures I got had at least something. Now let's look at Bon Bon, Freddy's little puppet friend. Oh my gosh. Like I said, Funko, I am so proud of you. Talk about picture perfect. I would have no complaints if it weren't for just one thing. Those eyes. They're a little too small. In fact, they make him look super creepy. I can imagine him breaking down a door with an axe.
Here's Bonnie!
Although, he's an evil little bunny puppet. I'm probably not too far off. In all seriousness, if those eyes were bigger, I'd say he looks straight up printed out from Scott's model. Sadly, I have terrible news about this little Bon Bon though. He's forever stuck to Freddy's arm. Funko, you had one job! Despite the few flaws and letdowns, I love this figure. And I love Funtime Freddy. Who doesn't? Next up is Ballora, our favorite blind ballerina. Ballora comes with Ennard's arms, which looks super bad A. Let's get her out of that box. One thing I'm pretty sad about is the lack of Minorinas and Biddy Babs. I was hoping Ballora would come with one, like how Nightmare Freddy came with a little Freddle. But even so, these figures are very well made and sold for a good price. I'd be fine if they charged more to have the Minorinas and Biddy Babs. Too bad for that. Ballora, like Funtime Freddy, looks pretty much picture perfect. I'm so happy to actually own these figures because they just look so nice. There are a few strange design choices here that are a little inaccurate though. For instance, her ears are a bit larger than they should be. Ballora's hands have always been quite thin with blue nails, but these are more thick and not painted. Instead of doing the wires on her wrists, it's just painted black. The little balls on her skirt aren't connected by strings, though that might just be because if they were, they could easily break off. And the absolute weirdest design choice Funko made was her panties. They made it like she's just robot nude. Ballora has blue panties, and the shape of that piece is more flat. It's really strange how much they changed that. This figure as a whole still looks very accurate and detailed. Her face is really well made, and it looks just like her. She's even got little earrings and her eyelashes. Interestingly, the joints on her shoulders are blue, which isn't how they are in-game, but it doesn't look too bad. Like I've said a million times about Ballora's feet, they are quite complicated, so I'm not surprised Funko simplified it a little. To be perfectly honest, I like them better like this. Ballora also comes with an itty-bitty stage that allows her to stand. Luckily for us, she is removable. And you don't even really need the stand if you don't want. If you have a bit of patience, you can get her to stand without it. Now we can finally pose Ballora in her spider crawl. The nice thing about the stage is that it only has one peg, which allows us to pose her like a ballerina without a weird looking peg sticking out beside her. And as you can see, this figure also has a bit of paint where it doesn't belong. Just a little dot of pink on her face. I have to give it to Funko. I love this figure. Now for the adorable Funtime Foxy that includes Ennard's left leg. I'm so excited to see Ennard! And wow, look at Foxy. She/he looks great. If you're new to my channel, you may not know this, but I always just refer to Mangle and Funtime Foxys as girls. So if that triggers you, feel free to go be triggered somewhere else. Seriously though guys, it's stupid to get upset over something like that anyway. Back to Foxy. I have to say, I really like how this figure looks, but that's no surprise. I've loved all of them so far. I'd pay $20 a piece for these figures if I had to. They're that good. Funtime Foxy does have a little issue though. Her eyes seem to be going in slightly different directions. If this were a Withered Freddy figure, that would be preferred, but it doesn't really suit our lovely fox friend. Her freckles are black when they really should be purple, though I think most people miss that anyway. And her eyelids are also the wrong color. They should be gray. And all around, her colors are a little too dark. The main pinks should be lighter, and the reds should be hot pink. But that's pretty much where my complaints end for this little cutie. Just look at that tail! Scott, why did you wait till the 5th game to finally give the fox a tail? Funtime Foxy's design is just so well made in general. It's so high-tech and awesome looking. The dapper red bow tie and the speaker, and all those little dots on her legs. Funko actually bothered to paint her nails unlike Ballora, and her hands as well. Once again, we have more adorable painted joints on Foxy's knees. When it comes to the tiny bit of space between all the faceplates, we weirdly haven't seen any of them be painted since Funtime Freddy, but it seems to look fine without being painted. All or nothing in my opinion. The lines were carved so deeply anyway, it really has the illusion that they're separate parts. I just wish they hadn't painted some of Funtime Freddy and nothing else. And now for the main attraction, Circus Baby! She comes with Ennard's head and torso. We'll put him aside for now though. Baby's up first. She comes with her adorable little microphone. Gosh, I love it so much! It's so cute! It really is perfect for Baby. Yet another amazing figure. Just look at her! She's incredibly accurate. Nothing seems out of place or odd. There are a few things that she's missing that I really wish they had given her though. Little details that make Baby who she is. The silver fingertips, and the blue little antenna things. They are minor details, so I'm not too distraught over it or anything, but it really would have been the icing on the cake. Upon closer inspection, Baby's eyes are a little bit weird. Just a little. I'm pretty sure it's just the paint that makes this illusion, but she looks a little wonky from her eyes not being completely round. I really wish this wasn't the case, but at least it's not too noticeable. Looking at her profile, her chin resembles that of Robbie Rotten or something. It's definitely strange. It's like Funko made her head too small and have to lengthen it to make the face look right. At least that's also not too noticeable. Thank goodness she has green eyes and not turquoise this time. She looks so good. As for posability with Baby and the others, if you've had one of these figures, then you already have a pretty good idea of how they can pose. Foxy's doing just about the closest thing to sitting that they've ever really done, and that's with Freddy as a backrest. Their feet don't swivel, but their wrists do, aside from Bon Bon. Baby and Ballora both can spin their torsos, which is always nice. Their posability is about as good as it'll get while still looking seamless, which in my opinion is probably the most important part. Now we've got just one figure left. Ennard! Let's build him real quick. I cannot believe how much effort was put into this masterpiece. He looks so good! Ennard is such an awesome character. He's my second favorite character behind Springtrap. His look and style is so strange in the coolest way. His makeup is extremely bad A, having been formed by multiple animatronics endoskeletons. He could probably tear you in half if he wanted to. Now before I continue praising him, I know what you're all thinking. I've been non-stop thinking about it ever since I seen him. Where the heck are his eyebrows? I gave the bootleg a pass on not having eyebrows. But this Funko made figure? I'm not saying Funko is the best thing ever, but I am saying they can do better than forget his freaking eyebrows. They remember minute details on Ennard, like his hanging eye, his little button, the pink, green, and yellow eyes on his body. But his bright red eyebrows on his face? I'll never understand. At least they got his eye color right, although it's kinda too small. And sadly, his hat is just yellow, not green and yellow striped. Although he's got a few issues, one of them being annoyingly obvious, the rest of him is absolutely spectacular. If you've seen my Sister Location bootleg video, I said I'd compare the bootleg Ennard to this one, but there is absolutely no need. Funko blew them out of the water, as I had hoped they would. One thing's for sure, I'll own this figure forever, him and Springtrap, even when I'm much, much older. These two figures are like little souvenirs of some of the best times of my life, and I have you guys to thank for that. You guys truly did change my life for the better. You and Scott. I really am living my dream. I'm so excited to wake up each morning just so I can get to work on doing my favorite things in the world. Thank you guys so much. And with that, I'll leave you with my horrendous little salvages, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye!